In this video, we're going to be talking about how to write setting and what setting is exactly in a story. So we're going to be taking a trip around my local area to talk about how best to use setting in order to tell your story. So if you come with me, let's go. Bright out. Better. My setting here is by the fjord. Beautiful. Settings should be well thought of and well described so the viewer can see it. Okay, I'm off. My next setting is atmosphere is the first thing I want to talk about. Atmosphere is the environment in which you create. If I'm telling a scary story, I want to use scary settings. Let's go inside. Here we are. Now, if I'm telling a story that involves a scary old house, then the house itself should be old. You should have old things in it, and the smell should be musty. You should hear creaking. Weird sounds coming from doors. It is important when you create an atmosphere in your setting that your atmosphere matches the feeling that you're trying to get in your story. If it's a happy story, then maybe you don't need a scary atmosphere. Atmosphere is the first step. The next is use your senses. What does it smell like? What does it feel like? What can you hear? Think about these things before you write your setting, and then tell the reader so they can experience it the same way. Slowly creaks open. A musty smell. Creaking floorboards. Water dripping from the old, broken down ceiling. So, when we talk about what our senses are experiencing, you need to write what your senses are experiencing. What do your characters smell and hear and see and feel? It is very important in order to create the right atmosphere for your setting. Ready? We're going on to the next place. Hold on tight. Whoa! Oh, I'm here. The power of naming. It's extremely important to use names, not just of characters, but of things in order to allow the reader to connect to your writing. For example, this chest. It features prominently in my story. It is called the Nightmare Chest. Now, my story is all about a boy who lives on a farm and he's scared of this old house that's on his property. He hears things, he sees things, he smells weird smells coming from it, and inside that building is a chest. Boom. Now, if I just call it a chest, it doesn't allow the reader to connect with it. But if I call it the Nightmare Chest, now it has power. And that power allows the reader to understand that what comes out of here could be nightmares. On to the next. Details. When writing, describe the setting, the things around your character in detail. This is not just a plant. It is the lovely flowering blossom tree that sits on my front patio. Its flowers are tinged in purple. It has water droplets dripping from the ends. This tree gives my character hope, and it gives him the power to overcome the nightmare chest and the haunted house. But when I describe it, I use lots of details. It's important that your setting has as much detail describing it as your characters do. So, it's cold and rainy out here. It's not just cold and rainy though, it's drizzling, a cold and misty froth that chills me to my bones. Now you understand the power of details. It describes everything in such a good way that the reader is engaged in the writing. Okay, I'm cold. It's time to go home. Okay, I'm back inside where it's warm and cozy and the smell of fresh cooked stew gently drifts through the house and warms me up. Ooh. So, in writing setting, it is important that you follow the steps that I've provided. The atmosphere should match the feeling of the story. Details, you should give details to describe the things around you. The power of naming. Name the things, the objects, the characters in the book in order to allow the reader to connect with them. And research it. If you don't know about an area, research it so you understand what it looks like, what it's like. Have fun and write your setting just as good as you wrote your characters. Goodbye.